Welcome to the Killer Innovation Show, the longest continuously produced podcast in history. Each week, Phil McKinney brings you the insights and strategies to amplify your creativity and innovation skills. Here's your host, Phil McKinney.
Welcome to this week's Killer Innovations. I did not expect the response on this series of shows we've been doing on innovation agencies, both from those interested in what are they and why would you use them, but also from innovation agencies themselves wanting to discuss how they become better agencies and how should they market themselves and how to create and expand the service offerings. So this has been a little surprising. Well, today we're going to continue this discussion around innovation agencies. And today we're going to talk about two topics. Why do organizations hire them? Why would an organization even think about hiring an innovation agency? And then two, what are the benefits? What's the upside from using an innovation agency? What are the clear benefits of innovation agencies? What are the things that people don't typically think about when it comes to the benefits? Many people think, it's just a variation of a consultant. No, it's not. And many people are even confused about what is an innovation agency compared to an innovation consultant. So if this is your first time listening, go back and listen to the previous episodes in this series on innovation agencies. And stay tuned because we will have upcoming at least one, if not maybe two more episodes talking about innovation agencies and why you should use them. How do you select them? What to look out for when working with them? How do you manage them? So you're going to want to make sure that you get the entire series. Listen to it. Keep it handy if you're thinking about or could benefit from innovation agencies. So if you want to listen to all that, you need to make sure you subscribe. So go on over to killerinnovations.com, click the subscribe button, or you can find Killer Innovations on wherever you get your podcast. That includes, Apple and iHeartRadio and Spotify, and you name it. We've been around since 2005, so we're pretty much on every podcast directory that has ever been invented in the 18 years that we've been doing this show. So with that, before we hop into this week's episode, got that favor to ask. So follow us on social media. You can find my social media over on all of the platforms. You can like the show. So give us a thumbs up, give us a rating, post a rating wherever you get your podcast. It helps make other people aware of the show, and then share it. If there's people that you think should hear this series, it might be leadership in your organization. It might be your team who might freak out thinking about you're going to outsource innovation, like you're going to outsource your IT or outsource your HR function. No, it's not the same. Innovation agencies are different when it comes to thinking about outsourcing. So you may want to share this episode or share this whole series of episodes to help them understand what does it mean to work with an innovation agency and how it can actually help them improve their innovation skills. So with that, let's not delay any longer. Let's hop into this week's episode. So let's look at two aspects of working with an innovation agency. First, why do organizations even hire them? And two, what are the benefits? Why? What's the impact of working with an innovation agency? So let's start off with why. Well, there are a number of reasons why organizations might hire an innovation agency. Some of the most common reasons include, one, helping with creative problem solving. Agencies can help organizations find new solutions to business challenges that they are experiencing. It's not always just about new products and services, but it can be a creative view of all kinds of problems, HR, organizational structure, culture, problems with existing products, a whole wide range. But by bringing in outside perspectives and helping to stimulate creativity, these agencies can help companies to overcome the roadblocks and come up with fresh ideas, whatever the problem may be. Now, this can be extremely beneficial for businesses that are looking to stay ahead of their competition and those that are possibly in some challenges. Heavy competition, changing markets, changing regulatory, those are opportunities to look to bring in an innovation agency. Number 2, to help with product development. Now, this is probably the most common reason organizations will work with an innovation agency. An agency can help organizations develop new products that meet the needs of their existing customers, maybe adjacent customers, or totally new market segments that they had never considered. They can help organizations to develop new products that meet the needs of these customers by bringing what they do best, inventing new products and new services. And by working with an agency, companies can access that creativity and that ingenuity of a team of professionals who can help them create the products that are both innovative and commercially viable. There's a lot of creativity experts out there who claim to help create products, but be careful. You want to work with an agency that has experience. Their team has direct experience in commercial viability. Because an idea, a product, a new innovation that is not commercially viable has a value of 0. Number 3, to help business model innovation. When we talk about innovation, a lot of people think about it's a new product, it's a new service. Do not overlook innovating your business model. An innovative agency can help organizations to innovate next generation business models that are more successful than the current model. A lot of organizations get locked into a business model and just can't even think about changing it. They've done it the same way for generations. Sometimes you do need to bring in those outside people who can speak truth, who can open up people's eyes to at least consider innovating that business model. Now, this is done by providing access to creative minds and resources that are outside of your organization, but it can also tap in to those people that are highly creative and innovative inside the organization to develop new and innovative ideas. In addition, the agencies can also help to test and implement the new business models in a live setting, which can accelerate the adoption process. Believe me, it's a lot easier to use an outside agency than trying to fight the innovation antibodies inside many organizations. Number 4, get access to creative talent. In many cases, organizations will work with an innovation agency to get access to creative talent. Now, an agency has a diverse team of highly skilled and creative professionals. These are people who've done it, lived it, been part of it. Many innovation agencies are made up of people who come from the business world, where they've run innovation teams. They've been the chief innovation officer. They've been head of product development. They've been the CTO. That's the kind of expertise that innovation agencies bring to the table. Now, creativity is a skill that can be taught and it can be learned, but it's usually not something you're just naturally born with. The good news is that there are plenty of ways to cultivate creativity in yourself and your team. And one way to do that is hire an agency. These creative agencies have the experience and skill set needed to help the organizations. And in that process, working side by side with your teams, it will unleash their creativity. It will build creative confidence. It will build creative courage for them to work on the next project. If let's face it, agencies have access to some of the best creative talent in the industry. These are industry experts when it comes to creativity and innovation. And matching that up with your team increases your likelihood of having innovation success significantly. Number 5, to get access to resources. It's not always just about getting access to the creativity and the innovation expertise of the agency. These people also have amazing Rolodexes. They have people in their network that you just don't even know about. You don't even know that they exist. You don't have a way of even getting introduced to them. And so this is where you can leverage your innovation agency to open those doors. Now, these resources can be helpful to achieve your goal. These resources include access to funding, mentorship programs, outsourced manufacturing. You're going to build a new hardware product. How do you get it designed? How do you get the metal molds made? How do you scale it so you can use an ODM in Taiwan and China to manufacture? Or how do you locate a US-based manufacturer if that's your direction? Channel partners. How are you going to sell it? How do you get it on the shelf in retail? Or even innovation workspace that you can come together as a team to work together on. By having access to these resources, companies can reduce the amount of time it takes to bring the product or service to market. And that is the ultimate goal. Number 6, accelerate commercialization. Agencies can help organizations with the entire commercialization process. This includes helping to identify and assess marketing trends and opportunities, developing test market plans, and even creating channel partnerships to get your products and service into the market quickly. By having access to these resources that focus on the commercialization, they can radically increase your chances of success when it comes to commercializing that new product or service. And again, in some cases, it's easier to use outside expertise than it is to try to fight internal antibodies or getting access to even to your own manufacturing or your own sales channels. And number 7, to help drive business growth. Ultimately, it's about growing the business. And how do you create and execute your growth strategy? This includes identifying entirely new markets. Many organizations will use an innovation agency to go find an entirely new market, not a new product to their existing customers, but create entirely new opportunities. Go find an entirely new market, a new customer segment, develop the product, help commercialize that product to be incremental revenue, incremental margin to what the business does today. That is all about driving that business growth. So it includes identifying the new markets and then the new products and services for those new markets. That is an excellent use of an innovation agency. And by having access to these resources, companies can increase their chance of success for these growth opportunities because you're not distracting your core team. You're not distracting your engineering, your manufacturing, your sales. They deliver the core business using an agency to go after entirely new opportunities. And there's all kinds of creative partnering strategies that you could create with an innovation agency to where you also share a little bit of that risk for the benefit of some portion of that upside. So again, helping drive business growth. And number 8, access to new technologies. Many agencies have strong relationships with technology providers, which can give you, clients, access to the latest cutting-edge technology, things that are happening in the R&D labs at these technology companies, things that are happening at university research centers or government research labs. Getting access to these technologies early, being aware of what's coming, and being able to leverage that can give you a huge competitive advantage. And one way to do that is to use an innovation agency as a technology scout, going out there and scouting for technologies that you could apply that could give you some form of unique competitive advantage. Now, this access to new technologies can be helpful when you're looking to stay ahead of the curve and stay competitive. Look, it is hard. The competition is aggressive. Technology is moving at a pace that's hard to keep up with. You need to get access to those experts, those individuals who can help you identify and leverage those innovations, those technologies. And again, through the access to these technology advancements, agencies can bring their clients the most up-to-date, the latest, the things that will put you head and shoulders above your competition. So again, access to new technologies. Number 9, expert advice. Innovation agencies have significant experience and are industry experts with innovation. This includes experience with ideation, product development, business model innovation, commercialization, everything we've been talking about. In many cases, that's expertise that's very hard to hire, very hard to keep inside the corporate environment. So by working with an agency, companies can access this expertise and learn from the agency's experience. Always make sure that any engagement you have with an innovation agency, you are learning. You are leveraging the work they've done for you so that you can build up your own team's experience, confidence, expertise, so that you can take on those future projects. And number 10, and this again is probably one of the more common uses of an innovation agency, is to just flat out outsource your innovation. Just outsource it completely. Outsource everything from the ideation to the prototyping to the product development to the market testing to early phase commercialization, sales channel development, the whole thing. Now, why do you do this? Why would you even think about outsourcing the entire innovation piece end to end? Well, one is time and resources. Time and resources. Do you have the people? Do you have the expertise? Do you have the funds? Do you have time? Is competition really becoming an issue and you got to react quickly and you need to throw a bunch of people to come up with something new and develop a whole new market? That's when you take advantage of an innovation agency, is when you are constrained on time and resources. And resources is not just, do you have a body and can they fog a mirror? Resources is about expertise. Do you have the people in your shop that have that expertise? Do you have the time? Do you have the money? Do you have the will? That's when you think about outsourcing your entire innovation effort. And it's perfectly valid. And it doesn't mean that once you do it, you're always stuck with that model. You may use this as outsource, hurry up, get this thing done. Maybe you do a second project with your agency where it's more shoulder to shoulder. And by the third effort, you brought it in-house. It's an excellent way to reduce your innovation risk and increase your likelihood of success. So, we just walked through why you would hire an innovation agency. But what are the real benefits? What are the real benefits that you are going to get? Well, we talked about some of these, but we're going to review them. And I've got a few other benefits that we haven't talked about yet that I think you're going to be a little surprised on. Well, first off is you just get access to creative talent. These are highly skilled and creative professionals. The agency is a team of professionals who are skilled in creativity and innovation. And they have access to other creative professionals, such as designers and marketing agencies and PR experts, engineers, manufacturers, a whole cadre of people from their past that they can bring in to work on your project, your problem that you just never thought you would ever have access to that caliber of resources. Gaining access to that creative talent. And it's not just the talent within the agency, it's that broader access, particularly to highly creative individuals who tend to want to only work on a few projects a year or maybe a few different clients at a time, and you would never be able to get them onto your project. That's where the agency can play a big, big help. 2 is specialized expertise. What industry are you in? What access to experts do you need that you don't need to hire because you just need them for this specific problem you're trying to solve, this new product you're trying to create, this new service you're trying to launch? So these expertise can be everything from new products to new, people who specialize in creating new kinds of services, people who specialize in business model innovation. Now, these specialized expertise can be people who specialize in brainstorming. Yes, there is a whole cadre of people out there who you can add to your brainstorming team, and they will act as a catalyst. You will not believe how much impact these people can have in your brainstorming effort to even double or triple the number of ideas and significantly increase the quality of your ideas. That is a specialized expertise. It's a specialized person who can come in and be a brainstorming catalyst. And how do you find them? How do you know who they are? How do you know which ones are good? Who's a good match for the type of work, technology, or industry that you're in? That's an example of specialized expertise. And those kinds of expertise, whether it be brainstorming or commercialization or product launch or whatever it is, those resources are hard to find. It's people who've got Rolodexes and 30, 40 years experience of working with a variety of people in a variety of industries. That's what comes out, that you can get a real benefit by partnering with the right innovation agency. Number 3, and this is one that is a little bit controversial, and that is faster turnaround times. Can an innovation agency really work faster than your own inside people? In my experience, yes. Agencies can move much quicker because they can dedicate the resources. They can dedicate the effort. Those people are just working on that one problem versus people inside your organization never are 100% dedicated to the effort. Second is the innovation agency are experts. They're experts in innovation. They're experts in creativity. They're experts in design. They're experts in manufacturing. All of the specialty skills needed. And by being experts, you are getting the benefit of the fact of that they can move faster because they have done this. They've done it for others. They've done it potentially for hundreds or thousands of other clients. And so therefore, it's not trying to, figure this out on the fly. Having access to expertise like this can definitely accelerate, speed up, and create that faster turnaround time to get from start to getting that product into the market so that you can get the benefit from it. Number 4, and this is the one that surprises a lot of people, and that is lower cost. Yes, innovation agencies are typically lower cost because of their deep expertise and experience. If you truly added up your fully loaded headcount, facility cost, all of that effort, the time of people, etc., the fact that an innovation agency can do it faster in a turnaround time and have better expertise, so it's less going down blind alleys, therefore it translates into a lower cost than trying to do it yourself. And I know people are going to say, well, man, agencies charge so much. They're expensive, because you're not looking at all of your costs that it would take for you to do the program in-house. One cost that a lot of people don't think about is delays or distraction factors. You're taking the eye off your core business to go chase this new thing. That's a cost. facility costs, labor costs, benefit costs, time being the one that many people underestimate how long innovation is going to take. Innovation takes longer than you expect. No matter how good your planning is, it's going to take longer, particularly if the team is not a specialized, focused team around innovation. And then number 5, a greater focus on innovation. An innovation agency, let's face it, is focused exclusively on helping clients to achieve innovation goals, whether that's a new product or a new service or a new business model design, etc. Now, some of you may be thinking, okay, well, I'll just hire a consulting company. They're the same as an innovation agency. No, they are not. An innovation agency is 100% focused on innovation, creativity, developing new products, new services. Consulting company does a lot of different things. They'll do financial analysis, M&A reviews, they'll help you redesign your innovation process. An innovation agency, its focus is on inventing, on creating, on partnering with you to come up with that next game-changing breakthrough innovation for your market. So an agency has unique, distinct advantages over the innovation consulting firms that are out there. Their focus is on creating, and they do it every day. They don't get distracted, and therefore can provide a much better service, a much better capability with a much better outcome than other types of organizations, whether they be innovation consultants or design firms or others, right? There's a whole variety of different classifications of quote agencies. There's design agencies, there's marketing agencies, there's press relation agencies, all have specialty niches. And you go to those for specific needs. If you're looking for innovation, don't go to the generic consultant. Find yourself a top-notch innovation agency. They specialize in what they do. They create innovations. They create products. They create services. And the top innovation agencies out there, the ones that have been around the longest, are the ones that will help transfer that expertise. They'll help you build up that expertise. They'll help you build up your team's innovation confidence. They will look to back off. The top agencies, their mindset is really around not how many more products I can do with you. It is, how do I equip you? How do I equip your organization to achieve innovation success on an ongoing, basis? They want a long-term relationship, not just a number of quick projects. So look for an agency that really has that type of an attitude. And the ones that have been around the longest, they're the ones that have been the most successful. They have the deepest portfolio. Those are the ones that you want to work at. So how do you get started? Where do you start working with an innovation agency? Well, if you want to learn more about innovation agencies, here's what you should do. One is just do a quick Google search for innovation agency. It's not as big of a field. There's a, I don't know, maybe what I would call 50 top innovation agencies around the world. You're going to need to go dig through and figure out which ones are the right ones for you. Second is stay tuned. I'm going to be continuing to talk about the innovation agencies, and actually in an upcoming episode, I will talk about how do you select the right agency for you. What is the criteria and the things you should look for when selecting an innovation agency? And then number 3, I would encourage you, go check out Tech Trend Group. It's Tech Trend, TechTrend.com, techtrend.com. Now, full disclosure, Tech Trend is the innovation agency that I started in 1996 and I am now the chairman. I'm not that involved in the day-to-day, but you can go check out the portfolio. Go over to the website, techtrend.com. Go check in the menu at the top, you'll see portfolio, and go look through that portfolio and go through just some of those projects. Those are just a few handfuls of the type of projects that TechTrend has done, but it gives you a feel for the range of the projects that innovation agencies do. You can also click on the services tab and see about what kind of services TechTrend offers. And TechTrend is a pretty traditional innovation agency with a heavy focus on technology. So, if you're interested, you can reach out to the TechTrend team, and they are more than willing to answer any questions you might have. And all the contact information is over on the website. So again, but full disclosure, TechTrend is the innovation agency I started in 1996. Wow, it's been that long. And I am the chairman of the board, but my responsibilities in other areas do not allow me to be that engaged on the day-to-day. But you can go over and check out what they do and see the kind of projects they work on, and see if something there might trigger a thought for you to work with an innovation agency that's a good match for you. So, and again, on an upcoming episode, we will talk about what should be the decision criteria when you are thinking about picking an innovation agency. What is the criteria you should use to make sure you pick the right innovation agency to achieve your innovation goals? So which of the benefits was most surprising to you? The one that I get the biggest reaction to is it actually can be cheaper to use an innovation agency than to use your own internal resources. Now, to do this comparison, and the reason why I can say that is if your innovation effort is that important, is your leadership willing to put the A team on it? Your most experienced, your most creative, your most innovative people, 100% dedicated on this innovation effort. If they're willing to do that, then they understand what the real cost, what the real investment is. And using an agency that has experience, that can reduce the cycle time, that can have a higher likelihood of success with less risk of one, failure, or two, going down blind alleys. Therefore, innovation agencies can do it much more effectively than many organizations internally. Now, that's not a knock on organizations. It's just the reality of experience and expertise. Why do you take your car to an auto mechanic? Because they do it in an afternoon. What if you try to do it on a Saturday? You're going to lose your entire weekend, and you're going to do 20 runs to the auto parts store, or hiring a handyman to come in and install the bookshelves, because it'll take you 3 times longer and 5 trips to Home Depot. That is the benefit of using an innovation agency. And so therefore should be something that all organizations consider, and just be upfront and honest about what would be your true internal cost to do this work, and what would be the benefit of speed, execution, and experience by using an agency. So something to consider. As we wrap up this week's show, thank you for your time. Really to appreciate you committing the time to be with us each and every week. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hop over to wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe to get the regular updates. If you'd prefer not to get it pushed in, but just to get the update, you can also sign up for the newsletter. Just go over to killerinnovations.com and just fill in your email in the pop-up. The newsletter is a weekly, and it gives you a brief paragraph on the shows and any of the blog posts that I've written. So therefore, you can kind of pick and choose which ones you want to read, and it just comes into your email. You can skim it really, really easily, and if you want to listen to it, go over, takes you right to the show. and you can listen to the shows that are of interest to you. But again, probably the best way to make sure that you get each and every episode, particularly in a series like this, talking about innovation agencies, is to subscribe. And you can subscribe to Killer Innovations at pretty much any podcast directory that is out there. We are in literally all of them. So with that, thanks again. Have a great week. Take some time. Work on your ideas, because you probably have got something rattling around in your head that if you could execute on, could change the world. And I want to see you change the world. With that, we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Podcasting nonstop since 2005, this has been the Killer Innovation Show on the Innovators Network.